There are not a whole lot of songs out there that do not use any vibrato at all. It is therefore only natural for most singers to want to learn how to use vibrato. Now, unfortunately, I see way too many singers out there force their way to get to like a vibrato rather than letting it happen naturally. Are you guilty of that? Maybe, maybe not. Well, fear not, I am here to help you out. Hey there, my name is Lara and I'm the founder of VoxTape Studios. Today we're going to look at what vibrato is and how you can achieve a natural and beautiful sounding vibrato. And I'm also going to give you an exercise so you can practice getting to that beautiful vibrato sound as well. Before we get started, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss out on any future awesome singing videos. Alright, now let's get started with what vibrato even is. You can only hold a note two different ways, either with vibrato or with straight tone. Either vibrato or straight tone. Those are your only two options when you're holding a note. Straight tone basically means there is no variation in your note or tone whatsoever. It's just and that's it, right? Forever. Or whatever note you're singing, it doesn't matter, okay? There is no oscillation happening whatsoever. There's no shakes, no air bursts, no nothing, which makes achieving a really solid and good straight tone actually quite difficult because you have to have really good breath support and the air release has to be very, very steady. If you have any bursts in your sound, then we will be able to hear that in your straight tone, which will make it not so straight anymore. Vibrato is basically an oscillation between two neighboring tones while you're holding a note. To simplify that, it's a shake in your voice. Right? It goes I'm trying to like make it really obvious now. So right? It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay? That is basically what vibrato is. It's a shake in your voice. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to have good breath support or you can have air bursts or anything like that. If you do, then it's not going to be an even and natural and beautiful sounding vibrato. Okay? So you still need breath support. Vibrato is not something that's achieved by either singing two notes close to each other really, really quickly. See how like uneven that is and it sounds super awful. And it's also not achieved by opening and closing your jaw quickly. That's not a vibrato either. Vibrato is something that will happen naturally once you master muscle isolation, meaning no tension, and breath support and have those two work together really, really well. Now, there are two different uses of vibrato. There is the mood setting vibrato and the drama adding vibrato. The mood setting vibrato is a little bit more common, but it's actually not as thought about as the dramatic vibrato, okay? So the mood setting vibrato is any vibrato that you have in lower notes. So we're gonna look at I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston because that is such an amazing example for the uses of vibrato. So in the beginning, it's just, if I, right there, that little vibrato right there, it's very, very subtle, and that's a mood setting vibrato, okay? So that's the more common one, but also we don't really think about that one as much. Then the drama adding vibrato is the one you hear at the very, very end. Usually the note you're holding starts out straight, like with a straight tone, and then you go into a vibrato. So, you know, at the end of the song, she really like goes after it and she basically sings, and straight tone, and then goes into vibrato, right? That adds drama. Once you start adding that vibrato at the end of the note, man, it just adds so much drama to it because the straight tone creates tension and the vibrato then releases that tension, right? And right? Can you hear that? Oh, when she does it, it's so amazing. So I really encourage you to check that out, that video. It is so good, so good. Now, if you're struggling with getting a vibrato sound, I pretty much guarantee you that it is because you have tension in your throat. Tension is an absolute vibrato killer. And yeah, it's just really no good for your vibrato, right? So if you are tight in your throat, it's going to be really hard to achieve a natural and beautiful sounding vibrato. So make sure you are releasing any tension that you have in your throat, right? That is basically the muscle isolation part that I just quickly talked about earlier. You don't want to have any tongue tension or jaw tension or neck tension happening inside of your throat, because that will not lead you to a beautiful sounding vibrato. Let's look at an exercise you can do to practice your vibrato. And this one, I know I said vibrato is not achieved by alternating two notes close to each other really fast, but the note bending exercise is still a really, really good exercise to get the feel of where you're supposed to go with that vibrato. So the note bending exercise goes like this. Okay, so first you're going slowly, and you're speeding it up until you're just holding the note and you're doing a vibrato on the note. Okay, and you can do that on any note. Give this a try, see how it goes. Don't get too caught up in it. It doesn't have to be the cleanest, okay? But what's important is that you're switching between the two notes, and eventually you're just staying on one note, but your vibrato will keep going. Okay, start slow and then speed up. This exercise can actually not only help you to find your vibrato, but also speed it up or slow it down. I used to have an incredibly fast vibrato. Yes, even faster than the one I have now. And I use this exercise to slow mine down. So it can also be used for that. Now, if you're using too much vibrato in your singing, it can start sounding sloppy, and I don't want that to happen to you. It is the balance between the two that makes the vibrato stand out more, instead of just, you shaking all over the place, and then it'll sound like you don't have any control over your voice. That is it about the vibrato. Practice this exercise, and I can't wait to see your voice improve.